Hello everyone, welcome to my first weekly Forex market review. I'm Hisham, and this is the first time actually I'm going to do such market reviews. And the aim and the goal of these market reviews is only to share with you my current market assessment in the coming week, and also how do I see it and any opportunities which I'm going to look at. Disclaimer that this is simply like, don't use it as a signals, right? It's only sharing my point of view, nothing else, right? And definitely if you're a Forex trader, so you know that this market is really, really risky and you need to have your own strategy, your own risk management, etc. And everything need to be in place, right? Personally, when I look ahead for the upcoming week, I always like to start with the fundamentals. So I always like to check what kind of events are happening in the coming week, right? And for this, I use this website, forexfactory.com, and I find it a very good website to use personally, right? And if we look at what is happening this week, so Monday, almost nothing. Tuesday, we can see that the only thing which I would pay attention to is like for the Australian dollar, RBA government lows peaks. And then for Wednesday, we have one event for USD dollar, which we should keep it in mind as well. For Thursday, seem to be a bit busy day, like we have a couple of events for Euro and a couple of USD, and also one for Australian dollar, right? And for Friday, we have like two for CAD and one for USD. So I personally, what I do, like I like to write it down and see, okay, like for Euro, we have, for example, 3 events happening, right? So there will be a lot of volatility happening in Euro, right? For USD, we have 1, 2, and I believe third is here, right? And for Australian dollar, we have definitely 2 as well, right? So these are kind of, I would say, the currencies which I would look after for the upcoming week, because there are a lot of volatility happening around them, right? And a part of what is happening for the, how to say, events in the upcoming week, we need to keep in mind also what is happening between Russia and Ukraine and how that impacts the market. That's also one thing we need to keep in mind. And we cannot dismiss the fact that non-farm payroll was just like last Friday, and usually like, you know, Monday, Tuesday for the week coming after the non-farm payroll, it's always time when the, how to say, does need to settle. So we need to be mindful of what is happening. So then moving to my trading view charts here. I always like to start by looking at the DXY, like the dollar index. Why? Because as we all know that the dollar is the dominant currency for in the market, right? And everything is coming around the dollar, right? And we can see, or as we can see, starting from May 2021 on the weekly time frame, as we can see here, that the dollar index was getting stronger and stronger since then. And as we can see, is that it's all the time an uptrend, like creating higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, and here higher high. When it comes to these kind of like horizontal lines, which you can see here, maybe I will discuss it in another video, right? It's just like this is my first video and trying to share what is like, or what is the process which I do follow moving forward, right? So yeah, as we can see here, like it's almost the third touch of the trend line. And as we know that third touch of the trend line is one of the strongest always, right? And this is something also we can discuss another time in another video. Yeah. So what we can see here, so third touch of the trend line, this is something we need to keep in mind. We need to know that the dollar index is very bullish since May 2021. And we can see here as well, if we zoom out a bit, this is an area of resistance coming from here all this time. So what I would say, I do expect some resistance happening here, and maybe it's the time where simply the dollar index to create a higher low, right? If we extend this trend line here, we can see that here we have the first touch. Here it didn't do it. Here is second touch. Maybe it's the third touch to come here, so it can help also the dollar index to move higher if it's going to do, right? So personally, this is on weekly time frame. Going to daily time frame, we can see still third touch of the trend line, and here are kind of areas which I highlight, like where's the price kind of like retracing from. Here we can see this one also, and this one too. And as we can see here that the price found some difficulties to break it, but finally it did break. So I would say like I can remove it right now. And this is on daily time frame. We can see how the day ended by simply peers. Like sellers stepped in here, and that's kind of like expected. Going to 4 hours time frame, we can see as well that how this is simply happening here. So like price pushed through it and then like came down and then tried here as well. We can see on 1 hour time frame it did have it that way. Well, I do personally think that maybe the price will come here to create double top, and then we will see if the price will move lower. One thing to keep in mind, like we can see some gaps here which are so far not fulfilled, and I do expect that these to be fulfilled. Will it happen in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks, or will it happen later? Who knows right now? We just need to always trade what we see in the market, right? But it can be happening in the coming 1, 2 weeks, right? As I said, like keeping in mind all what is happening right now around the world. And if I would say, like it's going to retrace, so maybe it will come here to this area. Why? Because I would say this is strong area. Part is that it's 50% of Fibonacci, but we can see here it was also resistant, and here resistant as well. So maybe if the price is going to retrace from here, so it's going to come to this point, and then maybe later it will continue its way up, unless it will break the market structure here, right? So for the coming week, I would say one thing is that I might expect some weakness of the dollar index, and it will simply move lower. What does it mean? That then we might expect some movement for the going up in other currencies, right? And what do I mean by other currencies? Is simply, I would say, like euro, like GBP USD, and like all other USD dollar, any currencies against USD dollar. Okay, so this is, I will keep it here, and we will see. Maybe it will keep moving higher, and if it will keep moving higher, so I would say like it can break here, and then simply can retest this, and then move up to the $100 mark, which I would say I really can see that happening sooner or later, right? But for the time being, I will leave these one moving here as I would expect. Going to oil. So definitely because of what is happening right now in the war between Russia and Ukraine, so we can expect that just like price of oil is getting higher and higher, till when, who knows, right? But on weekly time frame, we can see that right now it's kind of broke the mark of 110, and right now it's 114, or actually 100, I would say 115. How it's going to move? Well, to be honest, I personally try to avoid trading oil at the moment because it's so volatile, and personally, I wouldn't trade it right now. Yeah, so I will just like move forward right now to gold. Gold as well, since actually August 2021, and here we have the weekly time frame, we can see that gold, actually I will go to daily time frame so it will be better. we can see that since August 2021, gold was just moving in a uptrend, like creating higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows. And here, like also the price broke this level of 1950. And also we can know that gold is always a safe haven for all investors. So simply all investors in such time when there is a big uncertainty, they all prefer to move their money and the investments toward gold because it's a safe haven, right? It broke this level. And what I would say, I am personally looking forward for next week, and here, like, okay, that was on daily time frame, like creating this uptrend, and then moving to 4 hours, it was also like creating this trend. But right now, I would say it's already got broken, and here I create this because price was consolidating for some time already, so I would say it's not needed, but I can remove it. What I would say right now, that I would like to see how the price is going to simply react at this area. I would say that we might see some retracement coming from here, like price might take it, like come up here to liquidate it, come here to retest, if any, and then move higher if that will happen. Keeping in mind that here we have an uptrend happening already in gold, right? So creating here as well, right? And when I can say personally that, okay, price kind of broke this market and structure, if the price will break below the last higher low, and where is the last higher low in this? It's this point, right? A lot of people comes to this mistake that once the price broke under this trend line, they say, hey, right now we are in downtrend, but it's not like that, because yes, price broke in the trend line, but didn't break the market structure. The market structure is always like higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And this is actually the last higher low happening here. And as far as the price is above this area, so we are still in uptrend. So it might come here, and then from here, if the price didn't broke below, so I would say like, okay, time to go up. And I personally like such scenarios because you have a bigger risk reward, right? But for the time being, I'm going to keep my eyes on that, yeah. And just I will keep it here, that here is the last higher low. And like I would like to see how the price is going to react here. Yeah, if it's going to broke above this, if it's going to broke above this, so still scenario will be like, okay, price is going to break above, and then price is going to retest this from here, and then from here it's going to go up. But at the end of the day, this is open for assessment, and we need to see how the market is going to react. But for the time being, I would like to see how the market is going to react here at this point. Moving forward to Euro USD. Euro has been dying since the war started between Russia and Ukraine, and we all know why, because right now this war is happening in Europe here, right? And like this is a very big risk for a lot of things. But anyway, this call is not for any political discussion. I'd just like to review the market. And what I would say right now is that the price came to very critical level. Like we can see, this is a trend line coming from here, like since 2001. But one thing to keep in mind in general, I don't like to look that far back, like what was happening in 2001. I would like to focus what was happening here at this part of time, right? Starting from 2016, maybe in the last 5 years. But anyway, we can see that here it's a very important trend line coming, historical trend line. And as we know, the higher the time frame, the stronger the trend line is. So here we can see this is weekly trend line. So it's super strong. It's happening on weekly time. And the part of that is just like I will take Fibonacci from here to the last one. So yeah, kind of on weekly time frame, price broken below the 78%, right? But on monthly time frame, how it's going to close. It will be good to monitor because it's a very strong area in general. We have like the weekly support, which is at 1.10, and we have this weekly trend line, which is coming here. So I personally see it's a very good time to look at the market here, see how the price will react, keeping in mind that I see, and as I mentioned, that we might see some weakness happening to the USD dollar. So that means that we might see some strength coming here, right? On daily time frame, we can see, maybe let me bring this line here and have it also visible on the daily time frame, so at least we can see it on the daily time frame. Okay, this is a super interesting point here, that price, first of all, here is a touch of the trend line, and here is kind of like this line. I personally work on this line. I can explain it later in another video, but here is quite important line here. And as we can see, like price retraced from here a couple of times, like as we can see here, 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 and here as well. So it's kind of important. So here so far we have like two confluences, right? Like weekly trend line, which is in blue, and this, like I would say, daily zone, which is in turquoise. So what I would expect here, zooming out a bit, that we'll see some price manipulation here. Price will accumulate here, and I would like to see what will happen, because as we know that price doesn't move straight like from one point to another. Before any movement, the price like to accumulate and gathers buyer and sellers before deciding to move to the next part, right? So here it will be good to watch, see what the price will do. If we'll start to see like kind of market formation, which will give a sign to buy, so it's a good to jump in. But I do personally think that we might see some buy opportunities here, keeping in mind, like looking at this here, we see here is that one, it's kind of a good point. It was support here as well. So here too. So it's quite interesting to look at this one moving forward. Yeah, and for our time frame, that was from last week. Let me remove it. Definitely, I don't think that the price is going to move straight away, like from here and going up, right? No, I think that the price is going to play here around, and then it's good to look at it and like see what will be next step. Definitely, I'm going to look at this, and I will let you know. Euro GBP, to be honest, I mean, I don't see it interesting at this time. It's a bit boring for me. GBP USD, that's one of the very interesting pairs at the moment, right? So on weekly time frame, I see it that way. Here we have this like weekly trend line coming here, which is from started at March 2020, and we need to keep it in mind. And here on daily, we can see, let me zoom out here, that inside this ascending trend line, we have this seeding one, which started in June 2021. And since then, the market is just creating like lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low. And I'm actually in this trade right now. And I took it last week, and then I closed 60% of this trade on Friday by the end of the day, and I'm leaving 40% running on this trade. And I will explain right now why did I take it and how I'm thinking about this trade. But in general, we can see lower high, lower low, lower high, equal lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then this wouldn't count, but I would say the lower low. And I do expect that the price is moving down to the monthly support here at 1.30. Why did I take this trade here? What were the confluences? The confluences for me was that the price broke in this trend line from here, and we can see a very strong closure here on 1 hour time frame, but then we can see here again manipulation, and this is the time when I entered this trade. So I entered this trade as exactly you see it here. So and like that was like great trade I took last week, because like if we look at the drawdown, it's almost like I would say 1 or 2 bips, yeah, like 3 bips, and since then price just moved lower. And so for me, I took it because first it was like a retest of the broken trend line. Second, as I can see here, that was a retest of this area, which I would say support, support, resistance. Here I would say like did break it, but here it was already behaving for the last couple of days as a support. So I did expect that it will come again here to take it as a support, right? Let's remove it from here. And yeah, for me, it was also kind of like triple top at this point, right? And also how the price was moving and like the price action, I would say here, yeah, like, okay, here down and then up and then again down. And then I just looked at it from this point, right? Like, okay, it might be worth to jump to this trade with a good risk reward. And as you can see, to my final destination of this trade, like it has 13, I would say 13% risk reward, right? And I did close exactly here at this point, like 60% of my position, and I'm leaving 40% running. What I'm planning to do moving forward for this trade and for the coming week, I would like to check the price action here. It just like broken below this trend line, which I would say, I will explain in another video what are these lines, which you can see here in different colors. But yeah, I'm just like monitoring it. Here we have the price is just moving here with this trend line, which is moving down. And here we have Fibonacci. And what I would love to see is simply price to come here and test kind of this area, which we see it as like here support, 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 and price broken down. And since then the price came here, didn't retest it as resistance. So this is simply in line. Here we have 3 confluences that the price might come up to retest this broken support zone as resistance. That's one. Second, price come to the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. Third confluence is the trend line, and third touch of the trend line. And actually, I am thinking personally to start and take another trade from here with 30 pips stop loss, and then simply take the price down to here or even to here, and then just like, you know, take this trade once again. Yeah. And anyway, as I said, like I have 40% already of my position still open. Moving quickly forward to the next pair, GBP, GBY. And wow, also what we can see that the price simply here, we kind of can see like triple top here, right? Still retracing with this line, reacting from this line, which I will explain in another video. I'm sorry, I repeated myself, but I'm going to explain it in other videos, like what are these lines. And here, as we can see, this line here, like you see, it was resistance, resistance, support, 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 resistance, resistance. And here, price broken through. And that's, for me personally, I see it as a very good sign, because on daily time frame, the price broke through. So what I would expect coming forward, and I'm sorry, also let's take this one actually to here on daily. So price broken through this line and also broken through this, like actually it can be even, yeah, on a weekly line, which is coming from March 2020, right? And so we can see that the price broke this line, broke this one. And what I would expect that the price will come to retest it and then continue the move lower, where I would say maybe here, which is, by the way, in line with also the move I do expect to happening, I'm sorry, in GBP USD. But how myself as Hisham looking at this trade, I would say I would place this trade around this area here, right? Why? Because we can see here, this point, it's 1, here price retraced 2, maybe here a bit higher, but also we can see this one. So just not to risk it, I look at it that way. And also it's quite interesting. 9, maybe like this. 30 pips stop loss, and I would say first target the price to come here, which is already 5%. Second is simply here. And by the way, if you remember what I said about the market structure on gold, that as far as the price didn't broke below this last higher low, still we are in uptrend. So as far as the price is still moving here in this all this area here, so we are still in uptrend. If the price will come and break below this one, so I would say, hey, right now we are in downtrend, and what I would expect the price to come to retest this one and then move lower. But for the time being, we are still in uptrend. And what I personally see is that price simply, let me delete this. So what I would say, price right now to come to retest the broken trend line and then move lower. This is my first target. This is my second target. This is my third target. What I do in such a trades, I simply enter this trade. Right now we can see it's almost 14% risk reward. And I would simply take 30% of my, I will close 30% of my position here, second 30 here, last 30 here. This is in case the price will move to that direction, but we still keep a need to look and review the market and how the price will react right now. But this is very interesting one for me to look at for the next week. Once again, this is simply, I'm sharing my point of view. This is not a signal video at all. You don't take anything I'm saying here. You simply do your own assessment of the market and you do trades based on your strategy and what you see in the market, right? So don't take this as any signal or I'm telling you to buy or sell, okay? But this is one which I'm looking at. Maybe let's take last pair because I don't want to make this video very long. It already is. Wow, yeah, here Euro Australian as well. So as I said, like Euro was dying already for so long. Right now, it's also very interesting right now. I mean, if we go on weekly time frame, right, like we can see that the market since here, like since October 2020 is in a downtrend on weekly time frame. So lower high, lower low, lower high, equal lower low, lower high, and then it was just dying last week. It was very bad week. The euro, like just, I don't know, it's almost like from here, like how many bips? Like we took around like 500, 600 bips in 1 week. Yeah. So still, it's very interesting for me here. Like it's third touch of the trend line, right? And also we have these lines here, which I repeated myself, excuse me for that, but I will explain another video. So I'm really looking forward to what will happen in this area. Same story with Euro NSD, NZD, like Euro New Zealand. Same story, like in this one, like literally, you can see how Euro is dying, yeah. Still third touch of the trend line, but also coming with the monthly support, which is at 1.60. I'm really interested to see how Euro is going to react in the next week or 2 or 3 even, yeah. So it's definitely, I'm going to look at it. USD, well, it's kind of like, as you can see, it's here an uptrend, like higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, equal higher high. And for me, I would love to see what will happen here. Okay, if we look at it in that perspective, we can see it's kind of like left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and here is a neckline. I would like to see what will happen, but we still need to keep in mind that even if the price will break here, we are still in uptrend as far as the price didn't break below the last higher low. So even like we can say, okay, head and shoulders, well, good, but if the price going to break below this, I'm really interested to see if the price will break below. So I would like to see the break below here, then retest for this, and then moving lower. Yeah, but will it happen? I doubt it. I don't know. I cannot say right now. I need to see what will happen in the coming week or two. Here, this one, Australian USD. So on daily time frame, since February 2021, we can see that it's like in downtrend, creating just like lower highs, lower low, and here we can see like long-term trend line, outer trend line, and then like we have three different types of trend lines, like long-term, outer, and the inner trend line. But here right now we talk about here we have the long-term trend line, and here we have the outer trend line, which is already good broken. So what I will be looking at, yeah, it's a pity that I didn't take this trade last week. I just like have everything on my chart here, right? And I put even the risk reward tool, but I didn't place the order because it was non-farm payroll, and really I'm not a big fan of taking any trades, I'm sorry, when there is a non-farm payroll. I don't like to trade at this time. But like, look at it, if just I will have taken this trade, moving this risk reward, look, it's exactly like came here, like tapped my entry point. It's less than 1 pip drawdown and just moved straight to how long? How much? It's like 2% profit, but I didn't take this trade, so nothing to worry about. And simply there are a lot of trades coming in the market all the time, so nothing to worry about. And why I saw it that way, because I could see like, okay, just easy way, like here we have third touch of the trend line, which is, sorry, third touch of the trend line, which is, we talk about the outer trend line, which is this one. First touch, second, third, and the price broke through. But also here we have like this resistance level and the price broke through. So as a very simple and easy way that the price need to retest it, right? Retest this zone and retest the broken trend line. And on top of that, simply the risk reward tool, but back then to this time it was from here, and I had this one was, I believe, here, yeah. So I look at it like, okay, I have three confluences. Retest of the outer trend line, which I mentioned, this one here. Retest of this yellow zone, which is broken, the resistance from here. 50% of the Fibonacci, and third touch of this trend line on time frame, on 4 hours time frame. It's like we have 4 confluences to take this trade. That's why it's like perfect, but yeah, just like missed it. But still, I'm looking at it. So right now, it's simply what I would love to see from this trade is I want to monitor the price here. So right now we move this, so last touch here. And I would like to see what will happen here, right? Is the price going to break above this line? So well, I will wait to the retest and then move higher. And yeah, or if the price will come again to touch it here and then move up. But what I can say is that when the price usually breaks the outer trend line, the price is going to move to the next trend line, which is the long-term trend line. And why did I put it exactly to this point? Because here in general, we have this point here where the price retraced. So here, this is the area I would say I was looking at to take profit from here. right? So this is how I'm going to look at it, and I would love to jump in this trade in the coming week, definitely when there is opportunity. But for the time being, I need to look at it as well. Also, like for New Zealand dollar, same story. Here we can see, okay, let me delete this right now. So price also is creating, like, you know, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then the price simply came and breaking this area. So I would also like to see the retest and move to simply print second touch on the trend line. USD CAD, it's also interesting for me. And here, as we can see, on the weekly time frame, you can see here like left shoulder, head, right shoulder. On daily time frame, we can see left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. But also we need to keep in mind, we need to keep in mind that we have these here sort of triangle, right? Like where we have first touch, second touch, third touch of the trend line, weekly trend line. So that means it's really strong. As we said, the higher time frames, the stronger it is. And also here we can see first, second, third touch. So it will be good to see and monitor what will happen right now. But we need to keep in mind that this is also a very strong area. You see how the price was kind of like just moving here all the time, right? Like how the price was behaving here. And the good way also, like you can do that, it's just do it that way and see how the price was just moving up and down. Why? Because there is indecision in the market right now. It will be good to see, like if the price will come break above, so well, let's move with it. If the price will come here and then like come to retest and then move up, or that's one scenario. Or second scenario as well, it's simply to see what the price will do at this part here. But I wouldn't say, I mean, it doesn't look good for me. I mean, maybe for other traders it does, but for me, I simply don't prefer such trade for the time being. I would like to see clearer things because, yeah, who knows? Maybe this one, maybe third touch of the trend line here. But yeah, for the time being, I mean, USD CAD, it's like, okay, I also need to see what will happen. Euro, same story, like for Euro GBY. Wow, Euro just like 500 pips drop in just 1 week. Wow. Here, actually, as we can see, like price broke in this structure in general. Excuse me. So lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and just like broken below everything right now. So it will be good to keep in mind that this is weekly support area. So it's like most likely we might see some retracement from here and like to see what will happen later. But definitely all Euro pairs for me right now is a pairs which I'm simply going to look at because yeah, I mean, like it dropped massively, so it's maybe a good time to buy the Euro itself. Yeah, but still I need to look at it moving forward. Australian, Canadian, that's just like simple one. Like here the price was, you see like lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and the price broken above this and came to this, I would say, daily line. I will explain it in another video. And what I would say right now is that the price broke in this line, and right now it's time to move to the next one, because usually, as you can see, that the price is moving between my lines all the time, which I draw here, right? Like come to this as a resistance here. I'm sorry, resistance here, support. Come to this one as a resistance, broken, lower, yeah, here or here and here. So these lines are kind of helping me to see the areas where the market can simply, how to say, price to retrace. So here I'm looking at this one, like price broke above this line here right now, and maybe just like retest and then above and then move, higher. But definitely I would like to see more. I mean, like, I'm not planning to jump on this trade definitely Monday or Tuesday, but simply I need to see more like price action here to see like what I'm going to do next. Yeah. But yeah, just like showing the idea how I see it. Yeah, like New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, it's like similar story. We can see here, like, you know, weekly time frame. How does it look like? Like we can see here, like resistance. It will be good to see like how the price is going to react here. If you see some price reaction, like, you know, head and shoulders, or I don't know, evening stars or dojis or whatever. So it will be a time maybe to take it down, or simply if the price will break above, then it's time to move up. So yeah, this is simply how I look at it. And also in general, I like to look at the other index, like to see how the price is moving, like for British pound, for euro. Like no wonder, like we said, like euro in general was dying across other currencies, and here we can see like the euro index, how it's simply dying. And yeah, I just like to keep it in mind and check it from time to time and see how simply other index, as I looked at the beginning at the dollar index, how they are moving. So yeah, thanks for that. Sorry for having this kind of like long video. I'm just trying to share with you like how I see the market. I will try to make these videos on weekly basis, and please, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and yeah, talk to you soon. Thank you.